Hello everyone, welcome back to the Looney Bin. My name is Looney, and today I want to talk to you and to many other Final Fantasy VII fans about a certain mischaracterization of the main character of Final Fantasy VII in Cloud. Because I've seen this happen for many weeks, even months now, ever since Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out. Now, I know a lot of this conversation, a lot of this mischaracterization has been mostly in the shipping community, right? I am a shipper at heart, and I am, knowledgeable and know what goes on in the shipping community, specifically in the Final Fantasy VII shipping community, right? And there's this notion, there's this weird mischaracterization of Cloud that just, to me, is so baffling. Like, how do you mischaracterize Cloud that much to try to advocate for shipping purposes, right? It's so bizarre. Essentially, the mischaracterization of Cloud is making him come off as a douchebag, as someone who would essentially cheat on another person and kind of do things out of jealousy, or lead another person on because he has romantic feelings or feelings for another person. And that's the Cloud that that's the Cloud that is doing all this stuff that I disagree with, essentially, is what the mischaracterization is, right? And it's bizarre, it's weird. Like, how do you play Final Fantasy VII and all of a sudden determine that's what Cloud's like? Now, Cloud can seem like a douchebag with certain things that he says, right? He can be a dick sometimes, there's no question about it, but he's kind of a lone wolf, he's kind of like someone who doesn't necessarily like to socialize a lot, right? Unless he's with specific people that he knows very well, or he gets into certain stuff, like what happens in the Gold Saucer with Dio. After he beats Dio, he raises his arm and everyone starts cheering, and Cloud gets into it, and he showcases the real Cloud, the real him. And yeah, that's essentially Cloud. It's not that he's a douche or trying to go after another character, like another female character, another ship, because he's jealous, or he's like, that's not who he wants to be with, so he's using that character to justify his reasoning as to why he's doing certain actions. It's weird. It's a bizarre mischaracterization of Cloud that I just feel like it needs to be discussed in a calm manner, in a very normal manner, because I know shipping can get very bizarre. It can get very not violent, but very argumental. I don't even know if that's a word, but like it can lead to arguments that a lot of people are just not comfortable with. I always believe in the idea that you could ship whoever you want, but at the core of that message is that you cannot mischaracterize certain characters to fit your ship, right? But then again, you could ship whoever you want, and you have every right to. The same way I have every right to tell you that you can't ship. Like, I don't have that right. I can't tell you can't ship this character with that character unless it's morally wrong, right? But at the end of the day, you cannot also mischaracterize characters based on your interpretation because you are upset that the developers did something with Cloud with another character that you disagree with, or with the ship that you disagree with, It's bizarre because the devs literally state that anything to do with the Affinity System, anything to do with the dates in the Gold Saucer, are representation of Cloud himself and how he would be, how he would interact on those dates through his eyes, through his emotion, through his feelings. It's not based on what you interpret. It's not based on what you feel, right? It's based on Cloud, right? And I made a video on the Affinity System. You could go check it out. It's on the YouTube channel. I'll probably post it in a link below or at the end of the video. During the end screen, you could click on the video. But it's weird. It's a weird mischaracterization because Cloud is not a douchebag. Cloud has never once ever acted on like jealousy in the term in the form of like, you know, using somebody as a rebound, at using somebody as like, you know, to, you know, because they're angry or jealous, or, you know, don't want to be with that person, and they kiss someone because they really want to kiss another character. It is such a bizarre statement in any ship. In any ship, it is a weird thing to try to like use as an argument for your ship, right? It's a weird argument. You don't have to go that far, that deep, to mischaracterize a character so much to try to, you know, pretend or like try to avoid what the game presents, right? To try to like unjustify, like, or try to argue against another ship. It's a bizarre thing to argue. It's a bizarre thing to like debate with people, because you're essentially telling not only just me, just any other Final Fantasy fan that's not even a shipper, you're completely misunderstanding Cloud's character. Like, you're completely misunderstanding him, right? He's not like, for example, if he like, what happens in Rebirth? You know, when you go on a date with Tifa, you know, he kisses Tifa. What, like, it's literally what Cloud would do on that date. That's what the dev said, and that's what he will do. So why in the world do you think that he is kissing her because he really wants to kiss, you know, Aerith, right? Why? Why do you think that makes him look good? It makes him look like a douche. It makes him look bad. And then you want that same character to essentially go with your ship. But why? Why do you need to make him feel or look like a douche in order to try to justify your ship or try to make your ship look good? Because it doesn't. You essentially are making Cloud appear like an asshole. Why would I want my favorite, you know, or a character from my ship to act like that? Why? It makes him like, why? It makes him look terrible. You know, it's like, that's where, like, you cannot mischaracterize characters. You cannot pretend or make something up like that to justify or try to argue against another ship. It doesn't work like that in any form of shipping. It's like saying, like, Mario kissed Peach, right? Because he was jealous of Daisy or something like that. You know, it's something similar like that. Like, it's weird. It's bizarre. Like, you're trying to say Mario's using Peach so that he could get with Daisy. That is a bizarre statement to make, right? Like, the moment you hear it coming from my lips, you're like, yo, what the fuck? That sounds stupid. That's exactly what you're making Cloud to be. Cloud is not going to hurt someone like Tifa, who he has known as a, you know, since they were children, you know? And, like, it's so out of character for him to hurt somebody, a very close person to him, like that. You know? It's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre thing. If you want to argue against why you believe a ship doesn't happen or doesn't work, use something else. Use evidence. Use things that you see in the story, right? That showcase why Cloud should be with this character instead of that character. And don't mischaracterize him. Don't try to think that you know Cloud as a character when you make him into a douche or an asshole, right? That's so weird. That's so bizarre. Like, why would you want that for Cloud? And then why would you want that type of person, that type of douchebag, that type of asshole to be with your ship? It's bizarre. It's a really weird thing. And that's why I'm just like, that, it hurts seeing that, because that's not who Cloud is. Cloud is not going to, you know, lead somebody on, you know, if he has some sort of feelings or romantic feelings for. That's never been Cloud. Not even as a kid that's been Cloud. You know? Cloud literally, you know, is probably the one person who probably will never do that. Bad would probably never do that too. Like, it's such a weird thing. Like, I do not get why you want that to be Cloud. Why you want that characterization of Cloud. Because you're not only hurting Cloud's character, but you're also hurting your own ship. Because now you're telling everybody else, even the people who don't even ship any characters, that you want Cloud to be a douchebag, that he has to be a douchebag in order to get with another character. Celebrate the relationship Cloud has with every character based on the characters, what they are, who they are. That's what you should do as if you're shipping. Don't try to change a character. Don't try to mischaracterize a character to try to fit a scene, a moment, or something like that goes against your ship. Don't do that. Just celebrate your moments. At the end of the day, shipping is about fun, and it's celebrating those moments of your ship. That's all it is. You do not need to do any of this Cloud mischaracterization nonsense. It is a bizarre thing to do, right? I'm not saying every clever shipper does it. I'm not saying like shippers from other communities do it, but like, understand the character, because that's one of the most important things to do for any ship. Understand the character. If you cannot understand the character, then you need to come up with some fan fiction, some idea, and you're gonna fall in love with that idea when the character is not that. Right? You have to look at the character, right? Look what the story is telling you about that character, and go and celebrate, a ship or a character based on what the story is telling you that character is like. Do not come up with some weird things about that character that is not remotely in any way true. And that's what's happening with people mischaracterizing Cloud as a douchebag, or like someone who would literally use a girl, or use a girl's feelings to try, and because out of jealousy, because out of hatred, because he doesn't want to be there, right? That he really wants to kiss, this other character instead of the character he's with, and that the devs are making him, not making him, but like actually written him to kiss, because that's what Cloud would do in that situation. And don't take it my word for it. The developers actually said that's what the dates are. The dates are not what you think is happening, but what Cloud is essentially would do in these situations. It's Cloud's feelings, not yours. And that's one of the big problems with the affinity system that a lot of people do not understand. Again, celebrate your ship. Celebrate the moment. Celebrate what you love about the ship. That's perfectly fine. Use the characters based on what the characters are to celebrate that ship. But don't mischaracterize characters to make them be something that they're not. So that's what I want to talk about. I'm just so weirded out by this weird mischaracterization of Cloud. I don't care who you ship. You can ship whoever you want. But use what is given to you. Use facts. Use what the developers give you. And use what the characters are. Understand the characters. Do not come up with some weird mischaracterization for them. Because at the end of the day, your ship, right, is only as good as your understanding of the story and what the developers are telling you, and the characters themselves. That's what makes shipping fun, and that's what makes shipping great. Like I've always said, if I had a choice, I would literally talk to shippers over power scalers, because at least shippers understand or try to understand that character. But when you come up with mischaracterizations like that, then that's where I'm like, yeah, no, you're heading into like really weird territory. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and please just no fighting whatsoever. Just understand that do not mischaracterize characters, and just go with what the story tells you, and celebrate those moments that you enjoyed from the story itself. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.